All right. Welcome, everybody. So excited to see you guys. Now, we are really excited right now because we do this Healthy Together time every Wednesday. We have for years, but this one is special. We are doing our Show Up 90-day challenge right now. So we are welcoming in lots of visitors and lots of guests and lots of people who are doing our challenge. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah. So why show up, right? It's been said that 80% of success is just showing up, right? It's consistency. Consistency then compounds, and anybody who's heard of the compound effect, whether the compound effect with money, right, is a beautiful thing because then your investments grow at this exponential rate. But showing up creates a compound effect in habits, in relationships, in habits in any area of your life. So that is why we're doing it for 90 days. And, we've done this for years. We look at our lives in 90-day increments. You got to pay your quarterly taxes, stuff like that. Like
I just did that.
Yeah, wish we didn't have some of those 90-day things going on. But we have 4 quarters in the year. A lot of people look at the year and break it down into quarters like that and stuff. So it's just a great way to look at bite-sized pieces of your life and say, what am I focusing on in the next 90 days? I'm going to show up in that way. And then at the end of those 90 days, you're like, wow, look at where I was on day 1, where I am now. And it builds that confidence in approaching the next 90 days.
I love that. Okay, put a 1 in the chat if you have downloaded the Healthy Together app. And if you have not figured this out yet, that's okay. You're just going to go to healthytogether.cardtap.com. The link is all over. I will put it in the Healthy Together group later as well. And I love having everything at my fingertips of the link to this webinar, the playback if you missed it live, and a link to the Healthy Together group, all kinds of fun stuff in there. So make sure you get that downloaded. Also, with the challenge, print your tracker, and there's a couple of fun things on there. You can choose your plan. Now, if you're unfamiliar with, we have the Optavia weight loss plans on there, optimized plans, or you could do another plan. If you're like, Amber, I love the plan that I do and I do intuitive eating or whatever it is, that's totally fine. It's totally up to you what you want to do with this challenge. Also, have you checked in with your buddy, with your accountability person yet this week? You have all the way until Sunday to get it done, so you're not behind. But there is something magical about having a buddy when you are doing anything with goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say this right here. I've had like 3 or 4 messages today, like, oh my gosh, I'm on vacation right now. One of my high school friends, she graduated the year before me. She's in Cozumel for a 10-day scuba trip right now. And she's like, can I start this tomorrow? I'm like, you can start whenever you want.
Yeah.
90 days is running. So if you have friends and you're enjoying this challenge and you're loving the webinars and checking in with your accountability buddy and stuff, keep inviting throughout the whole 90 days. We can just keep this going and keep on a 90-day schedule with the people who want to join us and be healthier.
Absolutely. And on your tracker, it shows you exactly, when the webinar is, and it says video on if you can. Okay. I want to point this out. I'm gonna like look at you guys for just a second. Okay. I'm going to gallery view so I can see y'all. Video on if you can. Okay. So if you're in the bathtub, that means you can't. All right. If you are doing something illegal, I will block you. I will block your video if you're in the bathtub for you, if I see you. Okay. People tell me these things. All right. But here's the thing. When you are on video, it is a magical thing. I was saying this earlier when people were filing into the room. It's crazy how much more that you get out of things when you are present, and being on video, it's like a magical thing that makes you more present.
You know what? I did something fun earlier today. I was on one of our team trainings and I was presenting. and I shut off my video just to see what people would do. And one of our stories for tonight, Heather, she like private messaged me. She's like, Jared, your video's off and stuff. But it was a private message to me in the chat thread. So I didn't do anything about it. I just kept going. And then another coach on our team, Sarah, she took herself off mute and she was like, hey, Jared, your camera's not on. And I came off, I'm like, I did that on purpose. What did I just say in the last 30 seconds? And she's like, I have no idea, right? It's like, we're so much more present. When we're present, we get more out of it. And if you guys are present with us, it will make us do better.
It's true. It's true. We need you guys. All right. Okay. So, and the last thing is write your goals. So I gave you a little challenge the other day to just flip the paper over and write some of your goals out. And now we're going to do a little bit of workshopping on that. Are you guys ready? Oh, wait, before we workshop on that, we are just going to, we're going to just give you a little bit of the 4 components. So the 4 components of our program, it's kind of like 4 legs of a chair. And if you cut one of those legs of a chair off, guess what? It's going to be a little bit unstable. Okay. So with our program, we encourage people to use all 4 components. So the first one, everyone gets a coach or an accountability buddy, because coaches are working on themselves too. We're not perfect. All right. And so don't expect that from me. Number 2, our Habits of Health transformational system. We're going to be teaching you guys from the Habits of Health books in the next coming weeks with these Zooms. So you can ask your coach who invited you. You can get a copy of these. They're great. You can get it on Amazon or from your coach. So, because here's the thing is your body will typically match up to where your mind is set. So this is where you do the mindset work. And number 3, our community. So congratulations, you're participating in our community right now because you're on this webinar. You're not alone. There are other people who want to be healthy, and your chances of success, they go up when you plug in. And then number 4, are scientifically designed fuelings. So the fuelings are really cool because they reduce decision fatigue. You know, when you have to decide a bunch of stuff, like anyone built a house before, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever built a house. We've built several houses. And you know how you just get decision fatigue, and by the end you're just like, just do whatever, just do whatever. I don't even care about the pulls and knobs, and I don't, just whatever. The fuelings reduce decision fatigue. You don't have to keep choosing every day. What am I going to eat? Oh man, should I choose that or that? It's magic. Also, you simplified the process. You're creating new habits. You got to make it easy.
It's all automation, right?
Yeah.
Anything that you want to get really good at in your life, create a habit out of it, make it, automate it, right? It's like, how many of you use these? All of us, right? Why do we use it?
They can't see you. It's on the thing.
Oh,
It's a smartphone he's
it's a
holding up.
smartphone. Okay.
So if you're on podcast,
So-
Jared is holding up
yeah.
a smartphone.
So when I book a flight, all of my accounts with the different airlines, it automatically goes to my Google Calendar, right? Everything, I try to automate anything in my life that I can to eliminate that extra energy that I'm spending on other stuff. And during a weight loss phase or an optimization phase, our whole system, all 4 components, automate those things and help create those habits in a more sustainable, more consistent way.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get into our topic. We're going to talk about choices. They're fundamental choice. So let's zoom way out. I'd like put a picture of the whole world here. Let's zoom way out on what you want to create in your life. Okay. There is a quote from Robert Fritz, and it says, the fundamental choice is the choice upon which all other choices rest. So these are like the big decisions in your life. Like, I believe in freedom. I believe in being healthy. I am a non-smoker. Okay, like the big things. And so it's the choice, because all the other choices, that really depends on that big choice. because really, ultimately, we want you to become the author of your life story.
And if you don't have those big fundamental cornerstone choices made, it makes all the other ones really, really difficult. That's why we think that there's a million different paths to go down, because we don't have that fundamental choice made, perhaps. So we just want to help you focus in on recognizing the different kinds of choices that you have, and so that we can set those cornerstones, and then we can start to make our daily, monthly, yearly choices, those 90-day choices, right?
Because sometimes people start with the little goals, and that's okay if you did this, okay? They go, I want to work out 3 times a week. Okay, that's great. Why?
Why?
Especially if you don't even like to work out. Because guess what? When your alarm goes off at like 5:30 in the morning, you're going to be like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Snooze. I don't want to go. It's too hot. It's too cold. It's too rainy. It's too sunny. Right? Because when it comes down to it, if you have not made the fundamental choice to be optimally healthy, then it doesn't matter what program you wrote on your paper, because none of them are going to work if you haven't made that fundamental choice.
They'll work short term, just like Amber said, when working on your mindset. Eventually, sometimes people will create momentum in their physical health, but it always catches up, right? If they haven't made those fundamental choices, once they reach a number on the scale, or they fit into the dress or the swimsuit or whatever that they're going for, I have a brand new client that has a beach vacation in 2 months, right? He's like, I don't want to look like I look right now.
He doesn't want to look like the beach ball.
Yeah, I guess. And I'm like, oh, you could just go get a spray tan, and you probably look thinner with a more tan body. But he said, no, I want a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
I want to feel better all the time.
So after that fundamental choice is made, then you look at those primary choices. So these are like what Dr. A calls the macro habits of health. They're the big things that really feed into being optimally healthy. It's like healthy weight management, how you're eating and hydrating your body, your exercise, your sleep, your mindset, your surroundings. So all of these things are going to be the primary choices that come from that fundamental choice. And so let's take the healthy motion. So some of the secondary choices, these are the things people just normally will put on their paper when we ask them what they want to create in their life. They go, well, I really want to go walking 3 or 4 times a week. Okay, so what are the secondary choices? You got to have shoes you could wear. You have to decide when you're going to do it. You got to block it out on your calendar. And then you have to actually go. You have to leave your house and go walk around the hills around your house, right? And then do it those times per week. So the fundamental choice, big one, primary choices, secondary choices. And it makes a big difference to really start with that big level. Because here's an example. If you say you're a smoker and you're like, I really want to quit. It's bad for me. Like, shouldn't do it. Everybody's telling me, my kids, my doctor, I really need to quit. I don't smoke, by the way. This is just an example. So if you don't see yourself like at a fundamental level as a non-smoker, then all of those secondary things, all those little things, it's going to be real hard. You're going to be white knuckling it the whole time. And so I heard something the other day. I was on, anyway, I can't remember. And they were talking about the difference with weight loss. Like they were working, it was a life coach with a client. And the life coach asked the client, how do you feel about this extra weight? Because she said, I have 60 extra pounds. And he said, how do you feel about that weight? Like, what's the story? Like, what happened there? And she's like, well, I'm really just like a healthy person, but I just gained this weight. And he said, okay, we got this. We can work here. He said, it's really hard when someone sees themselves as an overweight person who lost weight. They just keep getting pulled back. You see that fundamental choice? Like, I'm not that healthy of a person. when you make that fundamental choice, it starts changing at that identity level. You're like, no, I'm a healthy person, but I just gained some weight. So weird.
This doesn't make sense.
What's happening? To start resetting, right? Okay, I want to bring on a friend. One of our health coaches on the team, Megan Engbring, and I wanted to have her share. She was sharing with me some of her thoughts around this topic a little bit. And I was like, Megan, you have to share that with the whole Show Up Challenge. So Megan, are you there?
I am. I'm right here. Bye.
Go ahead, take it away.
All right, wonderful. Well, thanks so much for having me. Just a little introduction to everyone out there. My name is Megan, as Amber said. I've been an independent certified Optavia coach for 2 years, a nurse for 20 years, and a nurse practitioner for 10. So I've been around the block. And when Optavia came into my life, I will tell you, I was struggling with a pretty severe case of healthcare worker burnout. I practice cardiology, and I have a very clear understanding that most of my patients would benefit the most from achieving a healthy weight and learning healthy lifestyle habits. And I tried so hard in clinic, but I was getting really discouraged, frankly, just starting to lose hope that I could help anyone create health, and that I'd be stuck prescribing these same medications year after year, and watching my patients that I love just get sicker and feel worse and not better. And I get it. I lost the same 40 pounds twice in my 20s. And it wasn't until I really committed to that fundamental choice of being healthy that I created these healthy lifestyle habits that have now helped me maintain a healthy weight for another almost 20 years. So in the healthcare world, there's a lot of information about this disease state of obesity. And obesity is a BMI greater than 30 is the medical diagnosis. But there's a lot of complex factors that contribute to this disease state and the difficulty or even inability to lose weight. And then this phenomenon of regaining the weight after significant loss, which we know is the yo-yo. And these factors are real. I understand the science, I get it, but I know that the body can heal when placed in ideal circumstances. When we give the body what it really needs to be healthy, which are those macro habits that Amber just explained: proper nutrition, sleep, hydration, healthy movement, emotional management, and healthy surroundings. So I know scientifically that when we're carrying extra weight, the hormones that regulate our feelings of hunger and satiety or feeling full, these are working against us when we're carrying extra weight. That's science. And I know that the hypothalamus in our brain, it has a set point, a weight that it kind of wants us to go back to. And that's part of this yo-yo phenomenon. And I know that these things take time to change, but the body can heal. The body's amazing. It just requires consistent effort and making this fundamental choice to choose health over and over again, day after day. And that's why we create healthy habits, so that we call this skill power, not willpower. So that when we're on autopilot, we're choosing things leading us towards health. And so that's where our education system is such a game changer. So what I would encourage you to do is stay in structure. We have to stay in this Optavia structure well past our weight loss phase. That's why Dr. A teaches that achieving a healthy weight is the first step toward optimal health. This is not the end game. And so we invite you to stay connected with the Optavia community, come to events in person, continue to work in your life book, and consider coaching at least one other person to increase your accountability, learn things in a different way when you teach them, and just increase your likelihood of really maintaining this healthy weight and developing this identity as a fundamentally healthy person. Because we don't want to fall prey to so many of the things in this world. Otherwise, these temptations so common in our world. Then we get the illnesses that are so common in our world. So I'm so glad that you're here. Please stay plugged in. This is a journey. This is a lifelong decision to choose health. Thanks for asking me to talk, Amber.
Awesome, Megan.
So good.
I loved it. You know, I heard an analogy this morning, and it was like, if you've always thrown the baseball with your right arm, and that act of throwing the baseball with your right arm has gotten you where you are today in your life. What if you have to learn to throw the baseball with your left hand in order to get to the next level in your life? It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel weird. You're going to be like, no, I'll just go back to my right. Your right is giving you the results you have right now. You might have to switch to your left, you guys. I know, it's weird.
Might have to switch from the right side of the brain to the left side of the brain.
I know. And I love this. Focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. And that's what Megan was talking about. She's saying, we can say, well, I just how I am. Okay. If you want something different, then you have to be different.
Well, during COVID, Harvard did a study that they were seeking to know why people made changes in their life. And they found, they surveyed like 50,000 Americans. And they found that 90% of changes that people were trying to implement in their life were based on dissatisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
And so the research goes beyond that. And they're like, dissatisfaction alone isn't going to keep it, make it sustainable. It's a great place to get started, because sometimes what we want is actually the opposite of what we don't want, right? But sometimes it's not exactly the opposite. So, but that 10% of people, they're making those changes in their life based on vision, based on a focus of what they truly desire, the state of life that they truly desire. So
what's the difference between, because a lot of people just wish that they were healthier, or wish that they, were better going to the gym, or wish. So here's the difference. Okay, here's the wish column. You haven't written it. You've just thought about it in your head. You're like, oh, that'd be nice. I wish that, I could be healthier. There's no pre-planning. There isn't any investment of time or money. So that's how you know it. Go down that column. That's how you know it's a wish. So Jared, tell us a little bit about what it'd be if it was a vision.
Vision is basically the opposite, right? It's clearly written. It's spoken out loud. You have accountability. You're like, hey, this is what I want. I want this healthy weight, or I want to be able to run a 5K.
I want to save money,
or play with my grandkids, or something like that. You've done some research, you've done some due diligence, says, hey, this is how I'm going to accomplish it. This is how other people have accomplished it, right? And it's on your calendar, in your Google Calendar, your Franklin Covey planner, if you're still carrying one of those things around, and you've invested resources into it, time, money, friendships, relationships, stuff like this. One thing that I will add to this is people who are still in the wish column. Our brain is wired for survival, not success, right? So when we want to be successful, or especially when we're in the wish state, like, oh, this is the kind of success that I want. Our brain is naturally going to try to keep you in your comfort zone. Comfort zone is where dreams go to die, right? And it's going to keep you there by telling yourself a whole bunch of excuses. Well, I can't do that. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the connections. I don't have whatever it is. And it's going to start making this list for you, so unconsciously. What we have to do consciously from the vision standpoint is it's like the pros and cons list, right? But I will challenge you to something. Make your pros list 10 times longer than your cons list. Because if your cons list is even close to your pros list, that survival part of your brain will win out and it will keep you where you're at. So be really, really aware of why you want these things and what you're fighting for in your life. And keep looking at that list of pros and why you want to create that in your life.
Your why's got to be longer than your why not.
Yeah.
I love that, Jared. Okay, we want to bring on another friend, and her name is Laura. And Laura also has been amazingly successful over the years. And Laura, why don't you come off mute and tell us a little bit about your story?
Hey there, thanks for having me. I'm so grateful to be with everyone tonight. For me, I've always been a health conscious person. You know, in the past, I read so many books and I've done so many approaches in trying to love myself and my body. Before I started program, I was an unconscious emotional eater. It wasn't uncommon for me to feel uncomfortable with my emotions and try to numb them away. Maybe some people can relate to that. And it wasn't just feelings of boredom, stress, frustration, loneliness, but also joy, excitement, happiness, and celebration. I frequently started my day off with a workout and what I considered at the time healthy food choices. But if I hit a moment in my day where my emotions became too strong, I would soothe or reward myself with food. And if I got busy and neglected to eat all day, I was also genuinely hungry, as well as emotionally drained at the end of the day, all which led me to develop eating habits that I was not happy with and that were affecting me physically and mentally. And honestly, I felt I had no help, no choice in my health, especially when I thought about my future health. I did a lot of blaming on my circumstances, genetics, and what I had been taught and modeled in my family and my culture. And of course, I tried to do things on my own to lose weight and get better and all that kind of stuff, but without success. Then, you know, when a friend posted on her journey on social media, I was intrigued. I talked to her about it and I liked the focus on comprehensive health and not just weight loss. I decided to link arms with her. And once on plan, I was quickly amazed and surprised at the results. I lost that stubborn weight, but more importantly, I noticed it gave me space and time to focus on shifting my mindset about food, my habits, and eventually my identity. Now, none of that happened overnight. I lost the weight in a matter of months, but reading and working in the life book awakened me to the possibility of becoming a healthy person, regardless of my circumstances, surroundings, or emotional state. I found I made that fundamental choice that we learned about, that we've been talking about all night. And then those secondary choices were so much easier than in the past. So when my coach invited me to explore coaching, I fully admit I was hesitant and quite honestly skeptical about it, along with not knowing if I wanted to or how I could even possibly find the time. I was busy. But I knew I wanted long-term accountability, support, and to keep moving forward. And I didn't know at the time that later down the road, our family would need some help with some of those to keep our healthy finances. I quickly discovered that my friends and family noticed a change and wanted it too, but I had to make that first move. They knew and trusted me, not a stranger. It's been 7 years now, and I am so grateful that I took that small, simple step to move forward to help a dear friend who wanted to get healthy too. This health community that we are part of has helped me stay on track through major life challenges, including deaths of immediate family members, job loss, near-death experiences of my daughter, my husband, and now a serious, ongoing, very expensive medical diagnosis. And, you know, when my mom died back in January, I had the time and resources to be there and with my family for weeks. And I can't, I'm so grateful for that. I quickly learned that this was simpler and way more fun than I imagined.
Awesome job, Laura. Thank you so much for sharing. I love what you said. It doesn't happen overnight, right? It's like an ongoing process. And I love just staying in that community, how it really helps you so much. So I want to invite you guys on. I want to invite you to our Cancun Life Coaching Retreat. And it's in November. It's like at the end of the 90-day challenge. I know Jared was talking about like wants to at the beach body. So you know what? That's okay if that's part of your motivation too. You could also want whatever you want, but we're doing it at the 5 Diamond Resort, JW Marriott. We're going to be having sessions, personal and professional development. And who doesn't want a vacation, have fun with the healthiest group around? We'll be having lean and green lunches every single day as well. So if you really want to go to that next level, committing, investing in your personal development, it might make sense for you. But maybe you're just ready for something a little bit littler. You can join us this Saturday on our personal development workshop. This is the bonus webinar for our Show Up Challenge. And here's some of the topics: dreaming bigger, living a full purpose life, visualization, managing disappointment. You guys, that's going to be a good one. I'm excited for that. In this same Zoom room at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 9:30 a.m. Mountain. So we hope to see you. Now, next Wednesday, our webinar topic is goal setting for control freaks. Okay, so we're going to be breaking down some of those primary and secondary choices for you and helping you put these goals in the right perspective so you actually can accomplish them. So thank you for joining tonight. We loved having you on. And we are ending our Healthy Together time, but stick around in this room if you want more information, how to be 500% more likely to reach and maintain a healthy weight long-term, or how to reach into your community, improving your healthy finances. So we're doing another session in this room with that. Or if you are a new coach, then we invite you to join our breakout room, our coaching quick start. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we will see you next week.